Welcome into the token and the truth. We are here, ready or not. It's 6 p.m. on the almost dot, right? I'm Dre Renee. This is Freddie B, my lovely co-host over here. Wait, over there.
No, you gotta.
God, I always do it the wrong way. What's up, Freddie B? Are you ready to get into these lovely topics? We got some good ones tonight. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of things to say, per usual. The bell is here. Freddie is here. What's going on, Freddie B?
Yo, what up, Jimmy Man Freddie B, guys? Make sure you share, comment, and like. Make sure you share, comment, and like, so we keep this thing growing. And also, we got the YouTube channel up. The Token and the Truth. I just got that going.
Okay, amazing.
But we can't. We just got that going, so we can't stream live just yet because it's like with YouTube, you gotta wait like a couple of days when you start it before you can stream live on your channel.
Oh, okay. YouTube got all these little rules and stuff, but we about to get it going.
But by next week, it'll be streaming live on the channel, and so we can, start to, I finally figured out how to start a new channel. I felt so old, but that's up and that's ready to go. So
this whole podcast thing, it's a whole learning curve, but we're doing it. We're figuring it out. Can we get our scroll banner at the bottom? I love the scroll banner.
Oh yeah. Oh,
scroll banner, you guys. While Freddie's doing that, we got some great topics for you guys. One that I've been really, really wanting to dive into about the nice guy. Are women really ready for the nice guy? And then we have a clip talking about women protecting men like men protect women. Right, Freddie? That's sort of the gist of that one. I think
Yes, we do. And guys, as always, you want to pop in and you got something that you want to say. If you're watching on YouTube, you just seen that link, or if you're watching on my main page, Freddie B TV, then you've seen the comment posted. Just pop in. But guys, make sure you drop in the comments if you got something you want to say. Feel free to let us know. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into tonight's festivities, shall we, Drea?
Yes, we shall. Should we start with the Instagram clip first? I think we should start with that because the nice guy thing is juicy too. But
okay, let's start with the Instagram clip. You got it up?
I have it up, Freddie. Hold on one second.
Here she goes. She's learning, guys. She's learning. I'm very proud of Drea. Drea's growing like this. Like a lot of times we do things like we make this content as hosts, and you guys always think it's for you, but it's for us too.
It is. It is for us too. Everyone's learning some things. Okay. All right. So let's see. Present. Share screen. There we go. Got it going. Okay, let me make sure the volume's on. I think it is. Okay, let's watch a little bit.
If you're a man with a woman who knows how to handle herself, knows how to interact in situations when men are aggressive. That's the one thing I love about my wife is that I feel like she knows how to handle herself. And she would only engage me if she felt like I needed to be engaged. Even at times, she would tell me something after we left or after it happened versus telling me in that moment. Even if it's something inappropriate, but it was slight. I know my husband has a lot going on. He has a lot to lose. Do I want to disrupt all that in this moment? Because he's going to be pissed and he loses everything because he reacts in this moment.
It's not just the man's job to protect the woman.
Exactly.
It's the woman's job to protect the man as well. That's a shared responsibility. That's why these gender roles and the words that get thrown around, it drives me insane.
Yeah.
So much of what we need is both of us need that. How you protect me is not just physical brawl, like, oh, you strong, you can beat people up for me. No, it's also using reasonable thinking to protect me in a dangerous situation.
For sure.
What you just explained is your wife protecting you. And I know this thing just was crazy over here at this bar with this guy, but if I tell my husband this in this moment, I will put him in a dangerous situation that could cause him to lose his freedom or his life. I can't do that, so I have to protect him. That is protection.
That's
okay.
It's important to have a
share. All right. So I was reading the comments. People were very upset about this. They had a lot to say in terms of Why are we having to protect these men? Who's protecting us? Depending on the situation, a lot of women were saying, so we're supposed to be uncomfortable because our partner can't control themselves and they're going to get aggressive. Is that protecting them? Is that not protecting them? You know, I've not been in this particular situation, but what I can speak to, I've never dated a guy that was like overly aggressive in that way where they're going to pop off. Maybe they used to, but you know, they were older. And so I knew that was possibly in them, but I hadn't personally experienced that. And there have definitely been situations where I was like, okay, maybe I'll tell him this later, or maybe I won't tell him this at all. But it wasn't situations where I felt like I was in danger or I wasn't like, you know, it wasn't good for me, something I had to hold that was going to put me in a bad place. I do understand, depending on your relationship, that there are times where you're like, this isn't important. I don't want him to get into a bad place. I don't want this to ruin our night. How important is that? But this sounds like heavier things, like your husband's going to end up in jail or something. So in a situation like that, I think maybe it is best you don't say anything. I think it's best, like, well, if you're okay, right? If it's something like small and you're like, oh, this could maybe get my partner in a bad place. I don't know if it's you need to say it right then, or if at all, to be honest, because being in a relationship with someone, you know them, they know you, you know what's going to press their buttons and what isn't. So maybe you don't say anything. But the people in the comments were very upset about this woman saying this. And they kind of made it sort of like one of the things we talked about last week with Ayanla, where it's like, it's our responsibility to protect our partners in a way to our detriment. And that's what people in the comments were really upset about. And I've definitely heard people in my family say things like, women have to do more. Women have to do more, which, you know, I kind of scoffed at a little bit. I was like, excuse me, what? But, you know, I'm learning more about some men dynamics and things make a little bit more sense to me. But I don't know in this situation, I didn't look at it that way. I didn't look at it as I'm having to take a step back and a step out to protect my man. I was as in its entirety. So it made sense to me that way. Does that make sense?
You said take a step back.
Right. Like because like people in the comments are upset because they're looking at it as like we're having to hold something that's going to make us feel bad, make us feel uncomfortable. We got to deal with that to protect our man. I didn't look at it that way. I look at it as I'm protecting our relationship, our dynamic, our unit together. And so that makes sense to me versus like, I didn't feel like I'd be putting it all on me if something like that happened. My brain didn't process it that way.
Yeah, I see, and that's when you sent it to me. That's why I went into there's nuance missing. And the thing is when you have these podcasts, it's important that, you know, the other co-host like helps because sometimes when you're talking, you don't really, you know, you're in your mind saying what you're saying and you don't see the plank in your own eye, per se, to use a biblical reference. The other person can see the plank in your eye. They can see like, hey, this is the blind spot you're missing. You should go deeper. You should explain more. Yeah. So with what she was saying, because she missed what he was saying. What he was speaking about is as a man, you out somewhere and you might be doing something and your wife does not speak up to correct you in that moment. That hurts. Going back to what I said, status is immensely important. That is like paramount to men. Excuse me. Status is oh my God, I feel like something.
Got that status, got your throat going.
Right. Status is paramount to men. And so the thing is when you're a woman and you with your man, your number one thing is to protect your man's status, just like beauty is important to women. That's what makes up like women in their stature in this world is their beauty. So as the man, your job is to protect your woman's beauty, to make sure you set her up so she could be as beautiful as possible. You don't want to do anything to where you got your woman, your wife out here not looking as beautiful as she possibly can. You know what I mean? Come on. How many times we've been out with women? Women, y'all crucify each other. Like, what shoes this girl got on? Look at her makeup. Look at her hair.
That's true. But what if y'all just having a casual little farmer's market Sunday and you don't want to look all,
No, but it's still like as beautiful as she is in that moment. Like whatever bubble she creates, you as a man, you're trying to make sure that if you're just having a farmer's market, she just simple, fresh face, you still not gonna have her out here. Make sure like, okay, she ain't got no toilet paper on her foot dragging, nothing, no extra stuff. Like, she did what she did, but you just making sure everything is buttoned up. Everything that needs to be buttoned up for that moment is buttoned up. You're not gonna have your woman out here looking crazy because she needs to be as beautiful as possible. Likewise, beauty, it doesn't matter with men. It's like, okay, that's not as important. So it's not like, oh, I need my woman to make sure everything is buttoned up and every little thing, but it's status. So as a woman, like, you can't and you shouldn't do anything that takes away from your man's status. And so that's more so what he was going with saying different things and wait until after the fact, like, hey babe, when you said that, like, nah, like when we out, you my woman, you need to be with me. You rolling with me. It don't never need to be. It needs to look like we not a united front. Like, I'm here and you over there and you over here and you not with me, because as a man, right? As a man, that takes away from my status, because it looks like I am not leading properly. I'm not. I don't have things under control. My woman doing her own thing. I don't have any power, so on and so forth, to other men. Because then other men will start to disrespect me, and then when other men disrespect me, now you as my woman looking at me like, we go places. These men don't even take you serious. So I'm not about to take you serious either. And so then everything crumbles and falls apart. But then it got to her, and what the picture she painted was she's with this man that's so loose and such a live wire that she has to protect him and not put him in the place to where he could lose his freedom and all of the type of stuff. It's like, whoa, time out, pull it back. It has, like, if you are with a man that can't control himself, that can't assess situations properly, then you got way bigger problems than what they talking about. You got way bigger problems. So we had Andrea Young. She just popped in with a question.
What's up, Andrea? Hello.
Let's bring it up. Is it the woman's job to make you feel powerful? No, it's not.
Oh my goodness, I'm really shocked to hear you say that.
So Andrea, she has, is it the woman's job to make you feel powerful? The thing is that you want your woman to supplant. Like, as the man, as the leader, you should already be a leader. You should already feel your power and know your power. Your woman should supplant and support that. Your woman should be lockstep with you to feed into that. Not you're powerful and she's taking away, she's chipping at your power, she's cutting your legs out from under you, all these different types of things to question your power. And then that takes away. Then as a leader, you can't continue on, and then that's the recipe for disaster. Your relationship is going to fall apart. So going back to the clip, I think, and then she went into gender roles. She talked about women protecting men. The thing is that protection means something like, yeah, you protect people you love. Right. That's standard. It's just like, you love people, people you love everybody, but you got different types of love, right? You got phileo, you got agape, you got eros, you got all these different types of love. Protection, the man protecting the woman is not the same as her protecting him, because a woman doesn't protect a man. A woman protects his assets. A woman protects what that man possesses and what he's bringing to the table. She's protecting his status. She's protecting his money. She's protecting all these different things for him. She's protecting his household. She don't protect him.
No, I agree. I don't think you're, and if you're speaking in terms of like physicality, no, she's not going to protect. I mean, you can try. I've seen women try, but it's best to not. I actually saw a clip of a woman recently. There was a big mob fight in San Clemente. These 3 kids jumped these Marines. I don't know all the specifics of the situation, but this woman, like an older woman, like jumped in the middle of this brawl and tried to break up this fight. And I was like, girl, like, no, I don't know what I don't know what you're doing. Like, we're not trying to do that. I don't even think it was any of her kids. I don't think she knew anybody. So no, I agree with you. It is not my job in that way, but I do feel more moved by representing each other. Like you said, like if you're over there talking to somebody, like what that means, like you're still representing your partner, and it's important to just be cognizant of that. So on the subject of protecting each other, I do think sometimes you have to be discerning about things, especially depending on the temperament of your man, right? So, I don't know if he missed what she was saying. It seemed like he was agreeing, because you're saying from the clip that she didn't understand what he was saying.
No, so what I say is, a lot of times in these podcasts, people don't challenge. I think in that moment, I think he probably heard what she said in his mind, like, because this is what men do. A lot of times when women are talking, a lot of times men just, okay, and we just don't pick up battles. We just don't feel like it and just let you women like do y'all thing, because we just don't feel like mixing it up.
Is best.
Right. And I think in that case, he could have pushed back a little bit on what she was saying. But it also is fair to say, yes, after what she said, it looked like he agreed, but then we don't know if he came back to it or what, but it doesn't seem like he did. And like I said, I think she misconstrued the protection part.
So you don't agree with what she's saying about in that situation. So if you're a woman, something happens, would you want her to tell you in that moment, real time? Or would you prefer that she waited like, hey, babe, something happened earlier at the club. I don't want to tell you because I want to be a thing, but just so you know.
I mean, it depends on what it is. If it's something that because hopefully when I'm married, my wife knows, she knows me, knows how I'm going to approach things. And so give me a piece of information if you know it's going to help me win even more or help me go from an L to a win. Now, you can wait to give me information if it's just like for my information, like, oh, I messed up. And it's like, oh, you want to tell me that. But it's like, it's kind of hard. It's basically like if it's going to give me the upper hand. If it's going to give me the upper hand, give me that information so I can get the upper hand. But if it's not going to get a W for me, and it's something that's not along those lines, not that serious, then just wait. Tell me later, hey babe, blah 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 blah. Or if it's possible,
like not tell you at all.
I mean, you can, it depends. You can tell me, or maybe pull me to the side, like, but not pull, like, wait to not in the middle, like, hey babe, let me come talk to you, where people see that you pull me to the side, something where it's done and over with, and now we just chilling, and you kind of just, hey baby, yo, real quick, something you can tell me, and nobody knows that you told me.
Right. Okay, I have a question in this same realm of protecting whatever. So I heard a situation recently where someone was sort of pumping their man up, but it wasn't genuine. It was something where they thought to themselves, a big eye roll. They were like, but for the sake of their man's ego and energy and power, they kind of was like, oh yeah, babe, yeah, I agree with you. Like, yeah, that's good. Like, good for you. And it was basically, she already knew something, but he wanted to tell her as if she didn't know. But in her mind, she's like, I already know all this. But she's like, yeah, babe. Yeah. Cool. And so I'm asking you as a man, Freddie, would you prefer that your woman did that? Or just in generally speaking, I'll say, do you think it's better for women to do that to sort of keep that energy in the relationship? Or do you think it's better to be authentic and be like, oh, whatever. I'm curious.
And it's funny.
Your man, keeping him out and leaving.
It's funny you asked me that, because it was a chick I used to talk to. She was telling me about a married couple that she knew who'd been married, I think at the time, 8, 9, 10 years. And the husband came to her and was telling her something to do, and she already knew, and she already had did it.
Right.
And she was like, okay, babe, yeah, I'll take care of that. But it was already done. So she could have been like, babe, I already did that. But she said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But it was already done. And so I think in those moments, you know what I mean? It's like knowing what is value. You know what I mean? Like knowing what is valued and between the two sexes. So in those instances, you want to supplant your man. Like I was saying earlier, you want to supplant your man. So if he's coming with something like that, you already did it. You already want something here. You already knew to do it. It's like,
I know me. I'll be like, babe, I did it.
Right. But see, the thing is like, what does that accomplish? Like, what does that accomplish? Like, even with me, I've a constant battle with me is leaving things alone, like not being right. Right. Like, it's like you talking with a friend and you're talking with somebody. Damn. and it's something that it isn't that deep. It isn't that big.
Not
and it's like, serious. And you're talking and you're right. You're right. You have facts to support that you're correct. And your friend is incorrect. And you could keep the conversation going to further prove how right you are. But it's like, why? There's no point, because there's nothing to win, because then that person just will grow resentful of the fact that you press the issue to be right. And yes, they'll know that you're right. They have the right answer. But what is it worth? Like, what in the end, what was it worth to be right? So the same instance in this case, like your husband's telling you to do something, you already know how to do it, or you already did it. A lot of times as that wife, you just say, okay, babe, I got you.
And okay, in that particular situation, that makes sense to me. But what I struggle with in the same realm of like being right, saying the thing, is feeling authentic, right? So once I lived with someone, which was not that long ago for the first time in my life, I did discover these things of like, okay, I can pick my battles and still feel authentic in bringing certain things to the table. But if it's something where I'm essentially building you up with information that I don't feel that's genuine, or where I'm like, this is BS, but for him, I will pretend it's what.
Oh, I think we lost you. Can't hear you.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
Yeah, I do struggle with that a little bit.
What do you mean by inauthentic? Like not being authentic?
Like if he's like, oh babe, this is something you don't know how to do this, or I don't know if you know how to do it, but and I know I do, but I know maybe he needs to tell me something because he needs to feel like, because I'm learning this stuff is interesting to me. Like, you know, they come with you with information and they need to feel like, oh, I'm teaching her, I'm showing her, like, and I hate to quote this man, you know, I hate to quote him, but Andrew Tate mentioned I can't even say his name. He mentioned something about, you know, age differences and if you're dating a woman that's seen things, done things, and has experience, like, I don't want to date those women because you can't tell them anything. There's nothing for them to discover and whatever. So there's this thing, there's a balance in that where it's like you want to feel like, yes, validation only comes from exactly. Thank you, Michael. Where men want to feel like, you know, I'm showing her, and I want to feel like I agree with that. Like I think that's important, but I also feel like I don't want to have to be some like pretend like, oh yeah, babe, good for you. And in my heart, I'm like, oh, this is I already know all this. Like I know that, but I don't want to have to be with somebody where I'm stroking their ego and in a way that's not genuine.
Well, I mean, I'll say this: there's a big that goes back to the last episode. If you haven't seen the last episode, guys, I invite you to go watch it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, folks. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes,
but it goes back to what I was saying about hypergamy. It is a good thing for a woman to be hypergamous, to be with a man who's more intelligent, more emotionally aware, more spiritually stable, more financially stable, and physically adept than her. Because because if you have it vice versa, then you have these situations where this man is coming to this woman with all this information, all this knowledge that she already has. Like, already have that, I already know that. And so then you run into these situations. If you run into that situation a lot, then that will start to breed a problem, because this man can't, like, how can you leave somebody who knows more than you? Like, think about the job. Everybody out there, think about the job that you've had, and you've had a boss. You have somebody who is your superior at your job leading you guys, but it's obvious you know more than them. Obvious.
This is, and we're gonna part our ways here because we have our moments in our podcast, because you know the semantics of it all. But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm a woman. I've lived my life. I've seen some things, whatever. And I think it's okay. I get what you're saying, because if it becomes to the point where said, even on both ends, where you're like, okay, there's nothing new to discover, this person knows everything. I think that can be weird on both ends, depending on the woman, Freddie. Yeah, if I'm 25 and my husband's 40, I'm like, okay, teach me everything, I guess. But that's not my situation. So it's like, I want to be with someone where if I am communicating like, oh yeah, babe, I got that, I kind of know that, they're not going to feel like, oh, well, I guess I can't tell Dre anything. But I also see the benefit, and not necessarily like stepping back in my own discomfort. Like, I have to feel authentic. I got to feel real. And whoever dates me knows I am transparent in my face. So I can't fake it. I cannot do that. I cannot be all like, yeah, babe, I'm not going to do that. So if I am doing it, it's coming from a real place. Men, women can both feel inauthentic intention and know the difference. Yeah, I think you can feel it. I mean, if you're super in tune with your partner, thank you, Michael, I think that you really can feel that. And I wouldn't want that. I don't want that happening on my end. I don't want my man looking at me like, oh, this little woman. And I don't want to look at him like I need to pretend like he's this, you know, ding dong that needs to have his ego stroked because he's a man.
Yeah, I think there's definitely levels to
Yeah.
stroking an ego, right? Like, so it's if every now and again, like, okay, like if it's close, like obviously if your man is coming to you something with something, front and back, like, like you were dating a guy, he's coming to you about like massaging techniques and pressure points, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like if it like that's also knowing your partner, like that shouldn't happen. Your man shouldn't be coming to you explaining something to you that front and back, because he should, your husband, more so your husband, he shouldn't be doing that because he should know you. He should have an idea of the places you've been, things you've seen, so on and so forth. So he should have an idea, like, babe, matter of fact, you've been to Paris, right? Okay, yeah. And then he might have was about to talk about it, but then he like, hold on, wait, okay. So, but that's a problem, and so that's indicative of a deeper issue. But let me bring back up something Andrea says. Is the man's need to have a woman supplant their need to feel powerful just a manifestation of the man's insecurity? Okay. And so the thing is I never said that is a need. Like with a relationship, there's never a need. A man shouldn't need a woman. A woman shouldn't need that man. You should want me. I should want you. Okay. You know what I mean? Because when you have needs, then that speaks to lack thereof of you. And so here's the thing. Now, women, generally speaking, need men, generally speaking. So to what you said, when she said the need to feel powerful, the word need, I don't know where that came from, but I didn't say that. Now, but what I did say is that a woman should supplant her man and should support her man. If she's not doing that, then she isn't a proper mate for him. She's not a proper mate for that man, and that man should replace her. He should get rid of her, dispose of her, whichever euphemism you like to use. Okay, as a man, you should not have a woman that does not supplant and support what you're doing. If you do, your kingdom will fall. So, but if you are a man and you need someone to feel powerful, then yeah, of course, that is a sign of insecurity. You need that, because everything you should do, you should find within yourself. Self-esteem. There's nothing I should be able to say about women in general, or to a woman particular that should hurt how she feel about herself. Because you got to know.
Otherwise, it is an insecurity, obviously.
Right, exactly. So somebody could say whatever about black men, men in New York, men who live in Harlem, men named Freddie, men with big heads, men that are 6'2", men that are Sagittariuses, men that are born in November. Okay, women can say Freddie, whatever. That will not hurt how I feel about me, because my self-esteem is me, how I feel about me. Okay. So that's where we all got to get to. You know what I mean? So,
and right, that's something we talked about on one of our very first podcasts, and we ended up going our separate ways about coming to a relationship, with your self-work done. And no one's going to do these things perfectly. I just don't think that's possible. I think if you wait until whatever, it's just, you're going to come with some broken pieces. And then hopefully you have a partner that can sort of be able to, navigate that journey with you. But ultimately, this whole thing of needing your mate is interesting, because I actually had someone I was dating once ask me, do you need a man? And my instinct is to say no. And I was like, do you need a woman? And he was like, oh yeah, like the air that I breathe, like I need a woman. And I think that word is interesting, the word need. But I think making your partner feel wanted maybe is important, right? Because I think when you get into need, it goes into desperation, and then we get into some weird things. But I do think it's important to make your partner feel like they're important in the relationship, and you do want to be with them. Okay,
right. And what I'll say is, I won't say desperation, because like need, because like you could look at it in that aspect, but then also
if it gets out of hand, you know what I mean?
Right. If it goes way down left, but need just means that, okay, to progress through life. And, life can present a lot of things, like a lot of times we live in our bubbles and we get accustomed to where we live, especially as Americans living in America. We get accustomed to life here, and we don't realize there's a big wide world that the vast majority of the world does not live how we live in America. And when you go out there and you go into some of these environments, you start to understand how different things are. You understand, and it puts things in perspective in your mind of how you traverse. But
okay,
I wanted to play this. This is one of my favorite comedians. TK Kirkland. He was on Vlad TV, and I watched it. I thought about the podcast today. You can see at the title at the top, if a man has never checked you, he doesn't have wisdom to lead you.
Ooh, now listen, if this were our first podcast, I might have kicked. However, now having some more, done some research on these things, kind of getting to know myself a little bit better. I don't love the semantics of it, right? But I don't love it. I'll be honest. But I do, in some recent experiences dating in the past year or so, I've definitely see the benefit of this, especially with a woman like me who's like, I'm sorry, what? But a respectful check is important too. Like how we're going about the checkation is important. Okay.
Checkation. I mean, the thing is, if somebody's checking you, that means that lines have already been overstepped. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I didn't feel like in my situation the line. It was more of a matter of I'm very, as you know, Freddie, I'm very I say what I think and everyone's gonna know about it. But it was a matter of like, hey Drea, we're not doing that actually. And I was like, ooh, okay. And so it was like something like that, like a choice that was being made when they decided that's what we were doing. And I was like, all right.
Right, and there are levels to checks. There are levels to check. This sounds like a level 1 checking where you kind of breeze past some signs, not paying attention, and you overstep some boundaries, and then he just checks you to get you back tight. Like, hey, let's bring it back. Bring your face here. Look here, because you was looking over there. He had to grab your face, like, look here.
Don't touch my face, okay?
Exactly. He had to, had the little light check. That was a little light check because it was just light. It was a light check.
I didn't mind.
Because it was a light overstep. Now, sometimes some people overstep a little bit too much. Then you got to check a little bit harder. So, but let me play this.
Okay.
Can we hear this?
No.
We cannot hear this. Okay.
It's not. No, okay.
Way more.
To the women, very carefully. If you meet a man that has never checked you about the way you talk,
it's jumping, Freddie.
Is it? All right, hold on.
And it feels like it's something juicy.
The man that's never checked you about.
Let me stop.
Doesn't have the.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll pull up Nikki's. I love this. I'm definitely the kind of girl who needs a check now and then. Nikki, I love you. Listen, I've learned, Nikki, that I may be in that club as well. Okay. A nice, respectful check every now and then never hurt anybody. And that's on both ends. Because, okay, I'm sorry, Freddie, it's on both ends.
That's on both. I mean, but the thing is that it means something. Like I said, goes back to being a proper leader. Right. And so it means something differently when your woman is, because it's not when your woman to a man, a woman isn't checking a man. A woman shouldn't check a man. The thing is,
a man should check a woman. Now,
listen what I'm saying. A woman, as a man, as a leader, your woman should not be checking you. That's one. Two, the thing is that as a woman, you should be just communicating with your man about things that you're not liking, things aren't going the way you want them to go, whatever the case may be. It's more of a communication.
Excuse me, how is it not a communication on that end too, Freddie?
Because a checking and a communication are different things. They're similar. It's like a square and a rectangle.
No,
they're similar, but they're not the same.
I'm not. Listen, if you talking to me a certain way and I don't like it, we're gonna have a conversation about it, and there will be a checkation happening. Okay,
a checkation. But the thing is,
I'm gonna tell you to calm it down, respectfully.
So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'm saying is that we're talking about leaders, proper leaders, and so if you're a woman and you have to check your man, then he is not a proper leader. We keep, and that's why I want to keep going back to that, because I think a lot of times what we see, women are used to men who are not leaders, and women gravitate and end up being with men who are not leaders, and they end up having their time wasted. And then they start to equate that to men, period. And then when a man like me comes and says a man's supposed to lead his woman, or TK Kirkland says that, women didn't think about these men who are not leaders as, oh, that's what he mean by leaders. No, that's not what I mean by a leader. Because the thing is that you go to any company, nobody ever checks the CEO. Nobody come and check the CEO.
I don't know if
you might give him some information. Like, hey, here's some information. I don't know if you know about this. Let me give you this information. Or Steve Jobs. So look, the way you did that, I don't know if you want to continue to do it like that. Some things went wrong. Some people were not happy.
Listen, how about this though? I don't know if you ever saw this episode 100 years ago on Making the Band, right? P. Diddy said he preferred it if people tried to check him a little bit because there's so many yes people. He said it. I will have to find the clip. But he had on this whack outfit, right? And everybody's like, oh yeah, man, you look great. You look great. And then somebody came in and he was like, no, that ain't it. That ain't it. Like, you look crazy. I mean, this is like a different.
But that's not a check. That's just somebody telling the truth. That's just somebody keeping it real.
Okay, but I'm saying I feel like people who get yes people all the time, like CEOs, whatever, if somebody comes in and they're communicating authentically, like that's the same thing to me.
That's not a check. We're not talking about that person getting checked. Getting checked is like you're going left and somebody says, whoa, stop.
I think it's okay.
Turn that way. You just going and somebody right beside you like, hey,
relationships are new.
Your wheel.
Right? I think you are. Listen, neither of us have been married, and I haven't been married a long time. So I think there are situations in a relationship where you may have to have a checkation for your husband. Okay, and it's fine. And your husband may be like, all right, you know what? That's fair.
And so like not this is what I'm saying. Like once again, I'll never say never. Never say always. Okay. Those things don't exist. Now, will there might be a time where a wife with her husband, she would check him, get him together on something because it might be.
Hey, but you're talking about a little too long. All right, let's wrap it up. Okay.
But that shouldn't be anywhere indicative. If you're a woman and you got to check your husband, you made a mistake.
I disagree because people are allowed to have human experiences. And
you made a mistake. If checking your husband is a regular thing, always
okay. That I agree with. It shouldn't be a regular thing. That we can agree with.
If it's somewhat common, like thing is like a man checking his wife. Okay, cool. That's just that's something that's gonna happen. She gonna because also women are led by emotions, so her emotions might get the best of her and then go left, go right. He got like, hey, babe. Hey,
see,
stop.
And this is what I'm talking about.
Stop.
Christina Trevino, her comment. So you think you're the CEO in a relationship? Been with my husband 16 years, and neither of us are employees. We're partners. How long have you been married? This is what I'm talking about, Freddie. People. Okay.
So here's the thing. So it's always interesting when I have conversations with people about like children or married people. Like if you're gonna have a conversation, the worst thing that you could say to defend your point is, do you have children or have you been married? Because the thing is that's the worst thing, because that doesn't discredit, that doesn't explain your stance, that does nothing. Here's the thing, me as a host, me as an MC, as a host, I have lots of experience. I've hosted a lot of different events, right?
Right.
And so if somebody comes to me and is telling me about MCing and host, my reply won't be, are you an MC? I don't care, because what I will do is I will lean on my decades of experience and my know-how, and also my back and forth with other hosts, other people who host TV shows, so on and so forth, and break down why I'm doing what I'm doing. What is the case? I'm not going to just say, have you been a host? No, well then don't talk to me.
Valid point, though. I think it's a valid point, because you and I are doing this podcast about relationships. We can only speak so much about our experiences doing research and things. But when you're actually in the trenches, like Christina is for 16 years, some of my friends I've known just married years and years, there's so many nuances in relationships, and these things change. So
you're right.
Let me finish. We're speaking from a point of just the knowledge that we have right now. I have no idea what it's like to be married for 20 years. No idea. So in 20 years, are you going to check your husband sometimes? Probably.
So, but here's the thing. I like everything you said. I'm not disputing at all. I get it. So what I'm saying is, if you've been married, don't ask, or if you have a baby, don't ask me if do I have a baby or have I been married. Just go into the information that you have that you know or you think that I don't have and break it down like that. The fact of saying you've never been married, I've been married, so you can't talk. Like, no, because we all can talk. Because the thing is, I know loads of married people. I've had hours of conversations with married people and learned a lot, and I also understand relationships. So you have that, but I'm not saying that Christina's saying that, but to what Christina is saying, the thing is that here's the thing.
Different dynamics in relationships.
So look, let me respond to what she said. So the thing is I will acknowledge that people have different ways of doing their relationship and making it however many years they've made it, which is fine. That's called anecdotal knowledge, anecdotal wisdom. And so the thing is that when I'm speaking, or I'm speaking generally speaking, I'm not speaking directly to Christina Trevino's marriage. If that's what worked for her, they equal partners and they've made it 16 years. That's wonderful. I'm happy for them. And I hope they make it another 16 more years, because I don't want to see nobody get divorced. And I hope they make it actually another 32 years. And whatever they work, it works for them. But we all can say, and we all know that standards exist for a reason, because what worked for Christina, we could realistically say it may not work for nobody else in this world.
Okay, we can't realistically say that, Freddie. That's ridiculous.
I said we can't say that. We can't say it. We can't say it could possibly not work for anybody else in this world. Work for her. But here's the thing. What I'm speaking from is, if anybody who knows anything, you know, marriage is a business. Because when you enter into marriage, business changes. The business of your life changes.
The business of your life does change. However, Freddie, I do think what she's speaking to and what I've tried to speak to, because I know we speak in generalities, I just don't always agree that this way of thinking, just generally speaking, that it's not everybody's going into relationships like thinking with these like, oh, I'm this and then she's that. It's like you meet somebody you like, then you kind of figure out each other's dynamics and you get on your way. That you get on your way,
which is why the divorce rate is almost 60%.
Right. Anyway, and so you were speaking. There's many reasons for that.
Let me respond to what she's saying. So thing is that the divorce rate is very high in this country, and to what you said, a lot of people don't go into marriage intentional and serious about it. Which the thing is, going to a marriage like, I like this person, I love this person, so let's get married. That's actually insufficient. That's insufficient to be married. When you get married to somebody, you are creating a business. That is a business decision. Now the thing is people don't want to look at it in that way. People don't want to look. It's also the thing of when people die and getting your affairs in order. People don't want to do that, but then people end up in court fighting, families falling apart, and then the government comes and takes everything, and then the relationships are gone and the assets are gone, but people don't want to get real about things. I'm just speaking being real. Like, you may not want to marriage. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. People may not want to look at marriage in such a cold way as like it's a business, but the thing is marriage about love and all that type of stuff and warmth, and yes, it's about all that. But there's also this whole piece, the backbone of marriage. It is a business, and when you treat it as such and you stay cognizant of that, then you can build a holistic way where your marriage is sound from all different aspects. It's just like doing business with your friends. Like, if you do business with your friends, y'all might be friends, but you also want to get the business aspect tight. Because I can give you a prime example of this. There are two big time podcasts, but it started out one big time podcast called I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder. They started doing the pandemic. All lived together, ex-football players end up blowing up. It blew up, but they didn't have no business, no paperwork in place. But Brandon had been spending all the money. He started getting it in place and putting all the money in. But then when it came time for paperwork, things had changed because he put money in. So he wanted a different cut. They thought it was still the same as the beginning. So basically, long story short, they didn't see eye to eye on the business and didn't get it tight. So then they left and created another podcast called The Pivot. Are they still cool? Who knows? But that's an example of when you have friends, you still got to take care of the business. You still got to face the business aspect of it.
Okay. I absolutely agree with you on that. And I think it's important to get that stuff out of the way, and then you can get to all the love stuff and create structure and create dynamics. All I'm saying is you can go into a marriage, be intentional, do all these things with whatever works for you and your partner. And that can totally work. And you can deal with the business aspect. I have a girlfriend, getting married. I'm like, yeah, make sure you get the prenup in order, whatever. And not everybody agrees with that. But I do believe you can get with somebody. Things can change. Things get ugly. You get the courts involved. And then it's a whole different situation. And my mom used to always say, if you really want to know who somebody is, when you find out when you divorce them, right? Because people change. Things come out. You don't know what's really going to happen. And put in certain situations, people have other sides of them. So I agree with you on being the business of things in order and treating certain aspects of your marriage like a business. I'm not saying just walk into it like you're a Disney princess and just la-di-da and fall in love, especially like getting older. Like, you got to be pragmatic about these situations. I do think that that's important. I don't think that these things are taught and put to the forefront. I do agree with you that, women are dating men that aren't intentional. You get used to dating men that aren't like that. Men aren't having these conversations, especially younger men, of like what you're doing, what you want to do, what your future, like these conversations, especially with regards to relationships, are not happening anymore. And people are so comfortable just being alone. I was watching a documentary the other day. It was the Korean pop group. I can't remember their name, Blackpink or Pink Black, one of the two. And they're sitting there at the end of the show. And they're pretty young. I think they're in their early 20s, and they're talking about when they're going to get married. And it was so interesting to me, because if this were 20 years ago, these women would have been talking about getting married 25, 30. They were literally saying 42, 43, 41. I'll start thinking about it. And I just thought, I was like, that's such a testament to where our society is now, and people aren't thinking like that. They just aren't. And that little seed that it's so many women, and I mean young women, excuse me, are following these girls. And so I'm like, these seeds that are planted, like, oh, I got some time, surrogacy, adoption, all these other things. It is going to change. I know why you're shaking your head, but it is going to change the dynamic. And so we can keep fighting for, I get some of these things, and I'm with you on some of these traditional things. I'm also with the modern times, but it's like, if that's where it's going, how do we acclimate to what is happening? Right? Because I don't know if people are going to like go back, but I do think it's important that we have this platform to sort of share this, and that hopefully we can, like, somebody's listening and they'll like get these values and things, and maybe change some of their ways. But a lot of people are not intentional. They're going into dating just like willy-nilly, and that's just kind of how it is.
I mean, the thing is, you each one teach one. I firmly live by the adage of each one teach one. If one person hears it and they get it, their life has changed. I'm okay with that. But like I said, going back to the CEO business side of marriage, like in any unit. Hi, any unit, you have to have somebody that leads. Like, every single business that existed in America has had a leader. Two people might have came together. Okay, we're gonna start this.
Is always a little.
You're right. And so the thing is that, okay, yeah, for some people figure out how to make it work with just literally two equal partners. But the thing is that I would challenge all those people who say that. I would love to hear these stories and be a fly on the wall in their household to see actually how these things go.
We should get a couple on like that.
Because but the thing is, maybe we could, maybe we should, but like, what's the likelihood of somebody like her like actually coming on and being honest about their marriage? It's not likely. I don't expect them to. But we froze for a minute. Your mom said we froze. Hopefully we back. I don't expect for somebody to. But the whole thing is, do what you gonna do. You know what I mean? My thing is all about results. So many people want results, but don't know how to get the results. So many women want results from men and don't know how to get the results from the man that they want. Don't know how to get the man that they want. Like, for example, I was my homegirl. She does the Nick Cannon morning show. You can download it on the app, Amazon app. Amazon app. It's a Nick Cannon.
Whoa.
Is a lot to say.
You're glitching, Freddie.
Right, exactly. Nick Cannon has a morning show, and they just posted a clip where she was talking about how, like, her cousin saw, like, she had on her refrigerator all what she wanted in a man. It was like 4 paragraphs on the front, 3 paragraphs on the back, this, that, and the third, and she can't find it. And he was saying like, yo, you asking for too much. And Nick he was like, yeah, like your expectations are too high. And so the thing is Nick was,
and nobody wants to hear that these days. Everyone like scoffs.
Right. And you definitely can't tell that to no woman that her expectations too high. But the thing is, what he was saying was, it's one thing to speak that man into existence, like speak it out to the universe, to manifest it, but you have to temper, like what I tell anybody, you have to reconcile your feelings. A lot of women, they have their feelings, which are fine. Your feelings are fine, but you have to remember your feelings matter to you. They are your truth. They are nobody else's truth. And then you have to reconcile your feelings into real life. And a lot of people miss that gap of reconciling their feelings into real life. So women want this man and think they deserve this man, and anything less, I'm settling, and this, that, and the third. But then when you reconcile what you're asking for, when you reconcile, that means you pair up this man that you want to you. And you look at that man that you want, would he want a woman like you? And then that's where things fall apart for a lot of women. They think that, oh yeah, he would. And it's like, as a man, when a man comes and says, sweetheart, the man that you want he would not take you serious. He would not take you serious. Christina, here's the thing. So Christina just said this, not relationship advice from Nick Cannon. Here's the thing. And so the thing, and I am not saying I'm fashioning my relationship life after Nick Cannon. Not saying that.
I don't think anyone should be. The planet will overpopulate.
Right. But the thing is that you have to be privy as a person. Hopefully, Christina, you're like this as well. You have to be a person that can eat the meat, spit out the bone. A lot of people can't eat the meat, spit out the bone.
I've never heard that phrase in my life.
It's an old country saying, basically saying like when you eat you don't eat everything, but you don't throw away everything. You eat the good parts, throw away the bad parts. And you got to know how to step through life, because there's a lot of people with great advice, but it's just the fact that we don't like them, so we ain't gonna forget him. Like Donald Trump has said a lot of things that are very valid that I take and I listen to. A lot of people, Joe Biden, Trump, there's a lot of people who don't like people, so we just not gonna listen to them. But you're missing out on golden nuggets of wisdom that would take you to the next level.
You probably lost a few viewers at that point, Freddie. But whatever. Anyway,
hey, I'm all about growth. I'm all about personal growth and being the best person I can be. And I understand that I can get those nuggets from anywhere. It's not that I worship that person.
It's like what Jackie just said. Hi, Jackie. As much as I didn't like Kevin Samuels, sometimes he made valid points for both women and men. Exactly. I buffeted Kevin and Andrew Tate. Andrew, I'd say he had about a 5% in there for me. Kevin had a little more, but for me, it was delivery. It was delivery, and I just didn't love it. But look, I'll go back to what you said before we move on to our next subject about what you deserve, reconciling your feelings and having your checklist. And we've talked about this before, where now it's like this, if a man comes with, you have this, you need that, like how we look at that versus us having that list and it being more accepted just out in the open. But yeah, if a man goes on a show, a podcast, and he's like, oh, I wrote about my woman needs to have this, and not just in the way of like, I want a nice, kind woman. If we're adding in physical things, then everyone gets a little bit like, but if you know, there's, I don't know many women who are writing, oh, I want my future husband to be 5'6", you know, like that's not, that's not happening. So I can sort of play devil's advocate there now, like in a way that I used to not be able to. So I get that. And I do think these conversations are important, because it is important to look at both sexes. I do think, you know, women have dealt with a lot, just generally speaking. So I think there's a lot of pushback on that. But I do see the validity in looking at how a man is coming to the table and asking yourself as women, how you're presenting yourselves and what that looks like to the opposite sex. I do think that's important. And now that I'd like to move on to our next topic, which is very interesting to me. Do women want the nice guy? So that's what we're talking about, guys. And again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, do all the things.
If you want to pop in, like I said, we got the link. So Christina, I know Christina been saying something. I know your mom been saying she gonna pop in. But if you want to pop in and actually say and break down what you're trying to say, feel free. We'll send you the link and you can hop on. If you want to talk to Drea, if you want to talk to me, we'll send you the link and you can drop your thoughts, guys.
I put the link. I finally learned how to do the link. Look at me. All right. I did it finally. Okay. So this is a very interesting topic. Do women really want the nice guy? Right. So, I mean, dating just in generally speaking, hearing stories from my friends, you know, I'll tell a story about this girl that I spoke about. I met at a party not that long ago, and she's telling me about this guy she just met online, and he is garbage. He's garbage. He's trash. He's trash. He's absolute trash. He's not a man of his word. He is not showing up for her. He is not seeing her, none of the things. And she basically told him that she's available for him. And I do not understand. It makes no sense. She's a little bit younger. And I think, unfortunately, we are in this time right now where it is okay to treat someone as if they're disposable, especially the younger generation. And then when you do get someone who's like, hey, I see you, I like you, I want to be here for you, I'm showing up for you, then everybody has a chance to look inward. They're checking their own value. They're checking their own worth. It's not what they thought it would be, because they are being more drawn to these men who are treating them like crap. And then some of these nice guys are seeing this, and then they're trying to do that because that is essentially getting the lady. Now, I think we've spoken about this before. Like, as we get older, like men and women, we finally start seeing the error of being like this and doing this. And you know, look, this starts with like childhood modeling, what you've seen, mommy, daddy issues of just how we're treating each other as people, disposable, online dating, social media. And it's affecting everything in terms of how we are showing up to our partners. So do you want the nice guy? I mean, the nice guy is nothing to be played with. And if anybody's had the nice guy and you receive the nice guy, it says a lot about, you know, where you are within yourself. But everybody says, I want the nice guy. It's on the list. I want the man to do this, to show up and do all these things. But when that guy does come, I think it speaks to a person having to really show up for themselves. And it allows you as a woman or even a man to take the focus off of the drama. Now you're focusing on the relationship and building and showing up in a positive way. And honestly, you know, not everybody is ready to do that, nor do they want to. And it's really a scary thing, because then you're really being seen in a genuine way and not just through the drama, which is what I think so many people are used to. I mean, if you look on Instagram and you go to any of like most of the memes are like all these toxic, funny memes, and everyone's laughing and relating because it's what's happening. You know what I'm saying, Freddie?
Yeah. I mean, that's how what's his name? Justin. What's the IG page? All the toxic women like Justin LeBoy. Justin LeBoy. Oh,
okay. Don't talk about Justin LeBoy. I like him. Don't talk bad about Justin LeBoy. He has really funny memes at Instagram. Oh, please. Anyway. Hey,
I'm just here just to drop the truth, and you guys take it as is.
Your personal truth. Thank you.
So the nice guy. The thing is I'll say this. Are we talking about nice guy or good guy? You know, I feel like those are not the same person.
Because the alpha man can be the good guy, but that's what I wanted to say to you too. Sorry to cut you off. Can the alpha man be the nice guy that I'm talking about? Calls you back, texts you back, shows up, remembers your birthday, remembers all the things, sends your mom flowers, all the things. Like, is that guy, can he still be like the alpha guy and show up confidently too? That keeps your interest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're talking about the good guy. You know what I mean? The alpha male plus the nice guy is the good guy. You know what I mean? He's good. You know what I mean? When you talk about just a nice guy, we talking about just somebody who's nice. And so the thing is that when you talk about somebody who's just nice, we got another exile castmate in here. Shout out to my girl Jamie. You know, I've been re-binging on Hulu, so you know, beginning my fill of Jamie and John, your best friend. But the thing is, here, this is what I'll say. I'll say the alpha plus the nice guy is a good guy. Nice guys finish last. You know, if you're a nice guy, you're gonna finish last. Women don't want the nice guy. 100%. 100%. Yes. But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what women do. This is what women do. women do not want a nice guy until they've been dicked over by all the thugs and the bad guys, the bad boys that they wanted in their life. So usually you'll find the women 35 and up finally want the night. Then they want to go after nice guys. They just like, look, I don't want no more eventful stuff. I don't want no more excitement. I don't want to have to wonder. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to chill. I done enough. F these men and so he's nice. I ain't got to worry about him. Then I'm gonna go him. These are the women that 35 and up. They've been ran through by a bunch of men, and their heart have been broken. They got a lot of baggage. And so then that's what you find. You'll find those type of women that are cute. They'll finally get the nice guy who ain't never really had a chick, who kind of corny. He can't really dress. He not really cute. He like okay. He just okay all around the board, but he's nice and he got a little paper in his pocket. And that's normally what you see. Those guys get those super cute chicks, and it's like how he get her. He got her because I guarantee you go back down her line. She done been with the ballers and the rappers and was living that life on the scene and dealing with, she came to his house because he forgot she had a key and he had chicks running around naked. Like, oh my God, can't you cheat on me? All that type of stuff. She done dealt with all that and she over it. She wants something simple. She wants it simple and easy. I don't care about being excited. I'll figure out how to be excited, get the excitement in here. I'll handle it. And if it ain't, that's fine because I don't live enough excitement and I don't want to go back because I'm scarred.
I'm done.
And then look, your mom said, I know why you laughing.
Mom.
Dun dun dun. So Bumby, what Diamond said, yes, everybody doesn't date thugs. I never said every. Once again, guys, every, never, all the time is not in my vocabulary. There are some women who didn't date the thugs and the bad guys and all that other type of stuff. But that's usually what you find with chicks who want the nice guys. Like I said, alpha plus a nice guy is a good guy. And normally the women who get the alpha, the good guys, women get the good guys are women who, when they were younger, one, they probably got him when he was young. They probably got him and grew with him.
Where's that guy at? Jeez, when they're
like
young.
So a lot of these women, you see these women with these good guys. You look at him like, dang, Whitley, you got some brothers. Normally, she got him in college. She snagged him when she saw his home life, and she hit the lottery. Basically, she hit the lottery. She hit the man lottery. She was in college, saw him. They linked up. He was solid. He was like focused on trying to get this stuff done. He would do what he could for her. Making some ramen noodles with little vegetables in there, and they would just thug it out together, and she hit the lottery. You can't really explain it, but she hit the man lottery, and then they grew up, and then he ended up being an alpha guy that's good and nice and all that. And she like, I'm out the game. I'm not trying to wonder about hot girl summer, wonder what y'all doing. This my leader, and damn y'all independent women, all y'all women that don't want to be led, that's fine. I'm being led. I'm gonna be led because I'm gonna live life. I'm gonna live my soft life.
Freddie, I'm going to interject for 1 second here. This leading thing, can we do safe partner? That feels good to me.
Can we do what?
Your safe partner. Safe partner feels good. Safe partner. I like that. The leader. Ugh.
Yeah. So, but then the other women who get the older guys who like, okay, because you got those alpha guys, the good guys who like they live their life and then they kind of like more than likely they got with a chick and they thought like they wanted to get out the game for, but then that chick broke their hearts. They recovered from that, and then they realized and really saw more about relationships. They still are ready, but they saw more about relationships. They fell on the good side. Some men fall on the bad side, like, all right, I'm about to run through as many bitches as I can.
Exactly.
Some dudes do that, but the guys who fall on the good side, then the women who normally get them are the women who these things that I'm saying, they got that early on. So normally you find those dudes, they'll be like 41, 42 in their career. They'll end up getting that girl who's 27 because that woman, she wants to get out the game and she hasn't been hurt and scarred that much or any by life. And she's ready to be led. It's like, I want to be led, but I expect more. And I just haven't given all these other guys any time. I'm waiting for a guy who's actually worth my time. And then she meets him and then they get out the game.
But
that's usually what you find.
This lottery, you have to speak to generally speaking, right? So right now in our society, this is not happening. Unfortunately,
what's not happening?
I don't feel like this lottery you speak of is happening as often as it used to. I just don't feel like
No, it's not. It's not because of what you just said. You said the women now, like, oh, I'll start thinking about getting married when I'm in my 40s. Chicks think they got decades to get like what?
I mean, but you can do things later, and people.
Wait, no. Wait, let me say this. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly, you can.
But here's the thing:
they're doing that. They wouldn't do it if they couldn't.
The world is telling women that, oh, y'all got all this time to wait. Like there is a tree that you just go pick a great man off of and gallop into the distance. Like you don't then
starting a family, but I'm saying you can still find your partner before that. I was speaking specifically to starting a family.
What you just said. You said you gotta find your partner. If you find something, if you gotta find something, that means that it's not just out in the open. Like, oh, there it is. You have to find it. That means it's somewhat hidden.
Find the nice guy, the nice good guy. No.
So the thing is that if I'm trying to find something, why would I just wait years to start to try to find? If it's that difficult to find, because judging looking out here, it ain't like there's just some large pool of great men just sitting waiting for the picking.
Great people, even because women are changing too, you know. So I don't know what the answer is, Freddie.
So, but that's my point.
Like they have more time. They're having families later. I agree with Jamie. Move to a smaller town. Oh my God, isn't that not the truth? That's
move to. I mean,
if I go, you go back to your hometown, you'll be married in a year for sure.
I mean, maybe I mean, and that's a possibility. You're a woman, you live in a big city, and you're whirling. You know how to finesse. You move to a smaller town, find that guy who don't know much, and you can finesse him, get a ring, and be out the game. But then you gotta deal with this man who don't know nearly as much as you know.
That's a good idea. No, I'm not. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Don't do all that, because then you're gonna get bored, and then that's not gonna work out.
There you go. And so that is precisely why I say what I say is like, as a woman, like why in what world is that even smart to say I'm gonna wait till I'm like 35, 40 to start getting ready for marriage?
I don't think those things are always the intention. I think sometimes when you are dating, except for when you are dating the ding dongs, right? But you don't always know that you're dating the ding dongs. And then when you do, it's too late and you're involved emotionally and whatever, it takes a little minute. My point is that your intentions, you would think, would be to make them your partner. But I think, like I said earlier, childhood modeling and things and issues and not dealing with your trauma, not going to therapy. There's a lot of unhealed people running around the world dating, It just happens when you keep coming across bums. And look, everything is just shifting and moving, and the importance of like starting a family, whatever, that's not on people's mind. People want to travel. They want to do their thing. They want to explore. They want to be free. Everyone's doing ethical non-monogamy these days. I mean, it's, have you heard of that?
No.
ENM. Yeah, that's like a whole thing, like dating profiles, ENM. I'm like, they're like, I have a partner.
What is that?
Non-monogamy. Like they have a partner, but they're free to do whatever they want to do. It's like new age dating. I'm like, what is going on out here? It's like a whole thing.
I mean, like the crazy thing about it is,
I'm like,
I guarantee a woman came up with that.
Freddie B. No, sir. Are you serious? You think a woman? All right.
Yes.
We'll have to do a little research. I don't know.
I'll tell you why. Tell you why.
Oh my
Imagine.
God. Let me listen to this. You don't even know what it is.
Imagine a man coming to a woman and saying like, "Hey, I want to practice ethical non-monogamy." What? She'd be like, "Maybe you don't take your. Well, you better shut your." Like he would get like no man would realistically come to his woman and say, "I want to practice ethical non-monogamy."
Why not? If that's what he wants to do, why not? I actually know a couple who the guy did exactly that. He told her from the jump, just so you know, I like you, but I'm not just going to be with you. And they've been married for 10 years and they have an open thing. That's what they do.
From the jump.
From the jump, he said that.
But the thing is a woman can go to a man and say that. A woman could be with a man like, "Hey, I think we should practice ethical non-monogamy." He'd be like, "What? Wait, really? Oh, you say I can hit other chick? Oh, okay." Like it will be received way different than the man telling the woman. That's why I said a woman came up with this.
Okay, maybe the woman came up with the actual term.
That's my point.
Possibly.
That's my point.
But I don't know. Men wild out these days, okay? People are very
We
open.
wild out, but we're not coming up with terms without wilding out like, oh, ethical. I'm practicing ethical
open
now.
Relationship. It's like what Jacqueline just said. It's an open relationship. People are doing that these days. It's a big thing.
Men be like, I'm effing off. I just been effing off. I'm just hitting this chick up. We ain't got terms. We ain't got things that we created. I got a little thing over here. I got a little dip.
The thing is, Freddie, you know what's so funny is that people have been doing these things. Thank you, Michael. Back in the day, this stuff has been going on forever. People are just now open about it and honest about it. And I do think because there is so much therapy these days, there is so much being open and honest, and couples are doing certain things. People are like not putting stuff in the closet anymore. They're like, hey, I've been sleeping with Ethel down the street. So
some stuff need to stay in the closet. Everything don't need to be out the closet. Like, why are we acting like everything need to be out the closet? Hey, guys, I'm doing all this.
Some of this stuff, Freddie, it's not new. It's not new.
You're right. It's not. But
there was always that man in the street, the Rolling Stone in the neighborhood where everybody knows so and so been with him. He got all these kids. This is not new. Everyone's just making a choice to be honest about it.
So like, I get it.
Is what it is.
My original point was that term. I said a woman came up with that. I know a man that come up with ethical non-monogamy, and then
they've been doing ethical non-monogamy for many years.
Right. You know, doing your thing, but you know, home take care. Kids got what they need. She got what she need, and she probably would have never known if it wasn't for a meddling friend.
What?
It would have never. It's like Scooby Doo. We never would have known if it wasn't for your meddling friend. Your friend wouldn't tell you and mess up a happy home.
Mess up? No, I think it's better because
why?
What do you mean? If everybody's fine with it, listen, live your life.
No, I'm saying like, okay, if I got my little dip in Orange County, me and you in LA, you know nothing about my dip. We going on. Life is great. You know you get flowers, you get your feet rubbed. You know, I cook dinner for you sometimes. We take trips. All this is good. But I got my little dip right outside my office. She come and I just bulldog every now and again. And you don't know.
Are you guys listening to this?
Listen. What I'm saying is, and you don't know,
Freddie.
You don't know.
I'm gonna dip your freaking face. No.
You don't know. You saying all this, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Well, Freddie, I want to know.
Why?
Because I want to know what my man's doing. I don't want to be lied to, Freddie.
You're not being lied to. I ain't told you nothing. Ain't nothing. Nobody said nothing.
You obviously got to lie to get there. How you?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I work in Orange County, but we live in LA. She at the office. Like I close up shop early. She come through. I just have big fun with her. I go home and I go home to my wife. Bring you stuff. We take trips. You don't know it. Like you just want to know just because you want to know.
Freddie, so then I can go find me a little dip. Hello.
So let me ask you this.
Then we're doing it.
Wait, no. Let me ask you this. Do you think that you could be married and have your little dip with a man and still be focused on your husband?
Why you have a little dip and you?
No. Answer my question. Answer my question.
I do think so. I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Wait, if you believe that, you know, because the thing
I'm
is,
not saying that's for me. I'm just saying I think it's possible because
I said, do you? Because you said, is it okay for you? Then you can have a little dip. So what I'm saying is, do you think you could do that? I don't think you could do that. Most women can't do that.
I'm not saying most women could, but I'm just saying I've seen it, so I know it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but most women can't like be getting hit by another man and still be locked in on their husband.
You think a man is going to be locked in on his? I don't.
Yes, it happens all the time. All the time.
I would not want my husband getting his dip on, and I have no idea what's going on. And anybody who dates me, like I'm in the.
I'm not saying you want that. I'm not saying you desire. You're looking for that. But what I'm saying is, if it happened and you didn't know,
I would rather it be open and honest. Open and honest.
It's like that.
Nightmare. I don't want a man who like their wife goes out of town. And they're like, oh Lord, I can just be myself now. I don't want that. I want you to be.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh Lord, I can be myself. Him, somebody different. That's not what I'm saying. But for example, how many songs have there been? Let me ask you this. How many songs have there been people sing like this? I don't want to know if you're playing me. Please don't let it show. I don't even know.
That ain't me, Freddie. That ain't me.
That's what I'm saying. Like with me as a dude. Like
I want to know.
If my chick is dipping off, but everything is good, like I don't know left or right. Like, I don't
I'm
need Fred. Your wife dipping off.
STDs, that's a whole other conversation. I'm not with it. No, I'm not with that. Absolutely not. I need to know what is going on. Period.
You know what I'm saying? You just want that's a masturbatory feeling. You just want control. You just feel like you don't have control.
Buddy. I don't want to be in a relationship where my husband or boyfriend is doing outside stuff and I have no idea about it.
That's a control issue, but
I'm not. You are not about to gaslight me on our podcast. No,
it is. But look,
you are not about to gaslight me.
we gonna get into this. We gonna have the whole. We'll stop here. We are gonna have the whole cheating episode. That's like a little thing. You know, we gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna break it down. I guess I'm gonna be gaslighting the hell out of you on that episode.
Oh yeah, you guys, just so you know, just to put your little toe in the water, we're gonna have a lovely episode about Freddie thinking it's totally fine for men who are successful to dip out on their partners.
So, but let me say this: I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying that's okay. It's fine.
No.
I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying you should. That's what you should aspire to do. No. And all men can't. All men not even in a position to do that. But
if you in the position, go ahead and get to dip on. Listen, if your wife is like, "Hey, listen," because I know situations personally, very close to me that I know of, that it's like, "Hey, you I don't want to know. You do your thing. I'm not tripping." Fine.
Let me ask you this. Those men, what type of men are they?
What do you mean?
Like these women who said that, what type of men of means? Like, are these men of means, or like who are these men?
I mean, they got a little coin. Hey, but my point is, Freddie, these women are in the know of like, hey, do you? I'm saying when it's like, I had no idea. That is not okay to me. If you make the choice as a woman because you're okay with it, and I know a lot of women who are in certain lifestyles and they're like, listen, but I also know women in certain lifestyles that are like, absolutely not. Now, whether what's really happening or not, I don't know, but I'm just saying I would rather it be an open and honest relationship versus being the wife where it's like, dang, she don't know really what's going on with her man. No, I don't want that.
No, but see, the thing is if that's happening, even if you did say that blanket statement, your man shouldn't have you in a situation where all these other people know that he got a dip. Like that should be under wraps. But here's the thing.
Oh God.
How realistic is it?
I don't like it.
How realistic is it to have a prime time, a PTP or a prime time man?
I will say I'll give you that. That one I like.
Like how realistic you got on the hook a PTPer, a prime time player in this game of life. Oh. You got on the hook a prime time man, and you think that he just right there. He only is
Freddie,
only interested in you physically.
I said I want to know. I want to know.
Think about all the other women that are just throwing. And here's the thing: women are smarter than men. Women are smarter than men too.
There we go.
Women are smarter than men.
My mom, what is a dip?
I'm gonna break down to you, Miss Drea's mom, in a second. Women are smarter than men, so we got to keep that in mind. So women know how to finagle and finesse into places to where she can be right in front of him, like with bam, like however you want to get down, it's on. Because the thing is, if you got that type of man, that responsibility is major. And the way you talk, Dre, you talk like, no, stop, no. You got a PTP, like that's a big responsibility.
And it is a big responsibility. I agree with you. And as a woman,
and you gotta get down with the get down.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, Freddie. If you
want
to get down with the get down, you can. And
if you want the PTP though.
Yeah, there's some sacrifices in there. I'm saying cool. But what I'm saying to you is I don't want to be the woman who has no idea what's going on. I don't want that. So listen, if I put myself in a position and I say to myself, oh, okay, I'm going to accept this, cool. We agree on this, but I don't want to have it be where like, it's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. No. I don't want that. I'd rather know.
So here's the thing. I think it more so in your case, I think it should just be something to where, it possibly could happen, but don't talk about it.
No.
Because here's what I found. What I find interesting about women love to answer questions when they only want one answer. They don't want the other answer.
Anyway.
They love to ask questions. You give them the answer they don't want, they can't handle it. It's like, why you ask a question where there are multiple answers, but you only want one of these answers? What?
I've been in a situation where he's like, do you want the real answer, Dre? And I'm like, yes.
You give them the real answer, they break down and have an aneurysm. It's like just don't go there. Just don't go. Just don't go into like where were you for 30 minutes last night? Don't worry about it. Those 30 minutes are unaccounted for.
Oh no.
They were unaccounted for. Continue on life.
Location.
You put air tags in cars. It's like what? Let it be what's gonna be. But look, guys, another great episode. The Token of the Truth. She made man Freddie B. We here.
Oh God.
With the Lady Drea. As you saw your mom, don't ask questions if you can't handle the truth. Seems like great. Mom,
there you go.
It seems like great advice, but you women folks love to ask questions and you can't handle the truth. So there's that. But that episode on cheating will be coming. Plus the episode on ladies, your vagina is worthless, and the episode about the next week we're gonna do fantasies. It's gonna be about sex.
Oh yeah, next week's gonna be good. This whole vagina is worthless thing, that is news to me, sir. I don't know if this is like a semantics thing, but
you a semantic. That's your favorite word.
Yeah, because I don't like how you word stuff. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. Excuse me, Freddie. Be respectful to Drea Mama.
What did I say? Oh, dip. I'm supposed to tell you what dip is. Drea Mama, a dip is a little side piece, little thing, that you got on the little side that you dip off to every now and again, and she get like a little time, and then you go back to your life.
Oh my God, Freddie, you are ridiculous. I'm like, Mama, what did he say? What happened?
I don't know. I'm assuming she's joking. But yeah, so guys,
love you.
That's it, man. We out. Another episode in the books. Make sure you guys like, share, comment on IG. You see it? That's our IG. Type it into YouTube. You can follow our YouTube channel because we're gonna start posting the videos over there.
That's right, guys. Follow us. We'll be back next week. I'm Lady Drea Renee. This is Freddie B. We'll see you guys soon.
Well, holla.